vote in the U.S. Senate set for later on today. Lawmakers getting ready to vote on a $50 billion emergency relief bill for the victims of Hurricane Sandy. One of our Connecticut senators on the shoreline today talking about the importance of that vote. News 8's Ken Pierce live from Bridgeport this noon with details on that. Ken?
And Keith, we're out here in kind of a driving snowstorm, but it was much different weather almost exactly 3 months ago when Sandy battered the Connecticut shoreline, did damage up and down the East Coast, including knocking out bits of the seawall here in Seaside Park. Well, Bridgeport is where Senator Dick Blumenthal spent part of his morning before rushing down to Washington to cast a crucial vote in that aid package of $50.5 billion.
And this is all gone. This is gone. Yeah, this is all because of the salt water. The salt water went in.
This apartment is still empty, ugly, and smelly 3 months after Superstorm Sandy put it underwater. And even 3 months later, Congress is only now voting on $50 billion of storm aid.
The Senate approved this money several months ago, and then the House was blocked on voting for it by petty partisan politics.
It's been a tough 3 months in Washington and for business owners and residents near Bridgeport's waterfront who have been trying to rebuild. And you've been working on repairing the damage ever since?
Ever since, yes.
Is it done?
About 80%. This store is about 90%. That house is about 80%.
Mike is a contractor who pumped 9 feet of water out of the buildings on this block after Sandy. Bridgeport and the other towns hit by the storm have been waiting for Congress to pass the aid package to get help with the cleanup and to try to improve infrastructure. Bridgeport's mayor gave Senator Blumenthal a tour of some of the lasting storm damage and says his city needs to fortify against future storms.
We don't really care about the politics in Washington. We care about helping the citizens who live here that had to deal with the water rising in these storms, 100-year storms happening every other year. We've got to get help from Washington.
The mayor may not care about the partisan politics in Washington, but there has been plenty of it delaying this vote. This time around, the House has already approved this $50 billion. Now it's up to the Senate, and Senator Blumenthal took a very brief tour today, then rushed down to Washington where he is going to cast a vote. It's probably going to be a very close vote in the Senate, experts say. Those experts are saying that vote could come late today. We're live in Bridgeport. I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.